disclaimer on the front end of this video. Number one, I am not a professional sheep shearer. I do not make this look good. I do not make this look easy. If you want to watch people that make it look good and make it look easy, I highly suggest you go to the Sheep Game on YouTube because Cammy is amazing. He's an inspiration. I don't know how he does the magic that he does, but I highly suggest you go see him for all the really good sheep shearing content. Number two, I'm a breeder of sheep and therefore I must take care of them. But that doesn't mean that I'm good at the shearing part. So that kind of is basically like number one, but I just thought I would reiterate it. So if you want good shearing content, go to the Sheep Game on YouTube. I'm sure there's others as well. He usually shouts them out too. He's just the guy that I watch because who doesn't love a great Scot? All right, I'll see you guys next time. Hi guys. All right, so the video footage that I'm about to stick in here is a time lapse, but it's a time lapse of us shearing our rams. Shearing is something that you have to do at least once a year, sometimes twice a year with your wool sheep. There are sheep that are called hair sheep and you don't have to shear them. But when you have wool sheep, you absolutely must shear them. See, the boys are feeling frisky now that they've gotten shorn. Anyways, you absolutely have to shear them. And the methods of which we do it, we kind of sit them back on their butt or upside down. Once you get them into those positions, they're kind of like a submissive position because they are a prey animal. They'll get into those positions and they'll kind of like freeze, and that's what you want. Sometimes there's minor struggle, but if you just ride it out, you get them to sit still, and that's what you really want, is for them to sit still because you don't want to nick them, or at least as little as possible. So without further ado, I will go ahead and put the time lapse on and you can see how we shear them. Now, after the excitement of the shearing, they're going to reassert their dominance. I don't know if you could catch it in the one part of the time lapse. Ramstein is very protective over all of us. Fozzie can sometimes be a jerk. Fozzie is the one with the black head. Ramstein is the one with the red head. So Fozzie can sometimes be a real jerk, and Ramstein was trying to protect us, he thought, because Fozzie kind of struggled a little bit when I was trying to sit him on his butt. And Ramstein tried to ram Fozzie, inadvertently ramming me, which knocked me into Fozzie, which almost made the clippers go into Caleb's legs, so it was like a domino effect. Luckily, nobody got hurt, animal or human, but it's just kind of amusing. And that's another reason, you know, it's always anarchy around here. But as you can see, they're not being mean, but they are, you know, trying to reassert dominance. They're feeling fresh and frisky now that they have all that wool off of them. And rams will do this. In fact, they'll wind up, they'll back up, and they'll clash heads, just like wild mountain sheep and rams will do. But it's all in the sake of dominance. Pretty soon we will split them up so that they can go into their breeding pairs. Like I was saying, pretty soon we're going to split them up, and we're going to put she's showing our dirty hands. Yeah. They'll go into their breeding groups in the beginning of August. We try to plan breeding groups for August. That way we can have end of December, January lambs if possible. And that's good for boys being boys. Guys, save yourselves. Just got a couple weeks. Anyways, yeah, we try to have late December, early January lambs when possible. Right now we have the ewes on a flush ration, which just means we are giving them a little bit of grain right now to increase their calorie intake, their fat intake, because that increases their energy. And when you increase their energy, it hopefully pushes more eggs out of the ovaries. Now, we don't sync our breedings, so we don't use seeders. Seeders are a hormone that you insert in the ewes a couple weeks before breeding, and then you pull them out and you stick the rams in, and what happens is it syncs up their ovulation so that you can breed them and have your lambing all at one time. I don't have enough ewes to make that feasible or plausible, and I really don't have the desire to do that. I'd much rather just have natural breeding and let them lamb out when they will. And if they don't catch, then I'll just not use that ewe anymore. But I've never had a problem. What? Buckets. Go ahead, go get it. Okay. She's reminding me about the milking buckets. Anyways, so yeah, so we're gonna split up and we'll have 2 breeding groups. We will have Fozzie go in with Delilah, Tulip, and Rose. And then we'll have Ramstein go in with Vanilla, Sweet Pea, and Eyes. He'll go in with them. Reason being is Sweet Pea and Eyes are first time ewes. They're ewe lambs, actually. They've never lambed before. And so Ramstein's just a little bit smaller than Fozzie. And also Vanilla had a lot of problems delivering Pirate, which is Fozzie's son. He was very big. So I'm hoping by crossing her on Ramstein, I'll have a smaller lamb, enabling her to lamb without issue. Because if you remember right, or if you don't, you can go back to that video. It was one of the first ones I made at the beginning of the year. We actually had to pull him. It was a real struggle. He was stuck behind her pelvis. So I had to actually push him back in and then reposition him and then pull him out. And that was very nerve-wracking. I was afraid I was going to lose her, him, everybody in between, my hand. It was a mess. Anyways, it all worked out perfectly. And Pirate, I don't think we're going to put him in with anybody because he's still young. He's only 6 months old, and we'll just wait and save him for next year. There's no reason for him to go into breeding this year. I think that pretty much sums it up. We'll be shearing the ewes and Pirate here probably this week. Just get everybody ready. The rams didn't need their hooves done. They're in really, really great shape. Pirate, I just did his not that long ago. The ewes will probably all need a quick trim on their hooves. We do that at the same time that we shear. It just makes life super, super easy when you have them into that position. And yeah, that's what we do with our sheep. You have to shear them. And I know it looks like a struggle, or it looks like, you know, they're in a painful situation when you flip them around like that, but it's really not. It's for their benefit, because you can then stretch out the skin so that you're making no wrinkles, and that way it's a lot easier to shear. So if you guys have any questions about shearing wool sheep, or if you have any questions about our lamb program, our sheep breeding program, just let me know. Leave it in the comments down below. I'll be happy to answer those. I'll make sure to videotape as much as I can, and when we split them into those breeding groups, I'll do that. I can't show the actual breeding because that's a YouTube no-no, but we'll show you as... She's a bull in a china shop, I'm telling you.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. Anyways, we'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye!